Captain Greg of Learn to Fish with Us. Today what I want to talk about is working the water column when we're fishing. It's so important to do this because you really never know if fish are below the ice or near the bottom. Yes, locators can really help you tell that, but most of the time it's going to be difficult if you just have fish that are just off the edge by your hole. And then when you get down to the bottom, you're probably going to have maybe 1.5 feet of cone angle, meaning you're just going to be able to see the fish that are within 1.5 feet of your hole. So let's talk a little bit about working the water column. So we got the ice. Hopefully it's a nice safe 3-4 inches. We got our bottom, and what we're going to talk about is, for this example, we'll use 8 foot. So if I start jigging and I want to work, what I'm always going to do is I'm always going to start, I'm going to use a longer rod, and we'll talk a little bit later why. But most of the time I'm going to start fishing right below the ice, and then I'll jig all the way till I get to the bottom, and then I'll start once I get to the bottom. So I'll just slowly jig down, stop, wait for a bite, no bite. I'll keep just slowly jigging down, and then just keep going till I get close to bottom. Once I get close to bottom, what I'll start doing is jigging my way up, because there's many times that you'll find that the fish like it when it's either going down, coming up, or both if the bite's really good. Another reason that we want to work right below the ice is we may have a fish that's right over there. That fish over there most likely won't see the bait when it's down here. So if you're having a really good day catching fish near the bottom, that fish is going to have a hard time seeing the bait over here. But what can happen is if you get your bait up here, that fish is going to be able to see that bait up here. So even though the fish may be stacked near the bottom, sometimes by bringing the bait up allows those fish to actually come in and swim in to where you're fishing. So that is a key reason in working the water column, is not only to catch the fish on where they might be relative to your ice fishing hole, but also getting fish from outside that area to actually swim in and check out your bait. So let's talk a little bit about why I like this long rod. So this rod here is 4 feet long. So if I set it to be on the bottom and then I work all the way up to top, you can see that I can easily cover 7 feet of water. So that's the reason I really like using a long rod, versus if I have a short rod here and I have it set to 6-8 feet, it's a little bit harder to work entirely from the top all the way to the bottom. So these are some great tips on why you want to make sure you're working the water column.